ABC Monday, The Bachelorette is back. Katie's journey to find love begins, and the drama starts night one when one man arrives in a box. Who is this mystery man? Is he, pardon the pun, the whole package? And the biggest question of all, have we seen him on a season of The Bachelorette before? And this season, our Bachelorette has two friends on the inside. Bachelor Nation fan favorites Tashia and Caitlin stepping in to help make sure Katie knows who's there for the right reasons and who should take a moment and say their goodbyes. The Bachelorette premieres Monday, 8/7 Central on ABC.
Starburns Audio.
Coming to you live from our houses in Los Angeles, California, it's Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, your comedy field guide to life. Tonight, semantics. What do we mean when we talk about semantics, which is the study of what words mean? Or is it? Like, maybe there are some people for whom semantics is a kind of sweet custard pie. Pie. USC Professor of Linguistics Deniz Rudin joins us in our virtual dorm room to unpack the extreme heaviosity of language and meaning. I hope he brings pie, man. Plus, speaking of pie, we're going to be sharing some of our weird food-related guilty pleasures. I don't know what Captain Crinkles is, but I predict it's loud. That's part of our new feature, True Confessions, Food Edition. I'm Adam Felber, the man who punctiliously patrols our podcast, making sure every word and phrase corresponds accurately to real-world objects and concepts. And now, please welcome the woman who bends every definition to the breaking point, leaving a trail of shattered verbiage in her wake. It's Paula Poundstone.
Yay!
Hey, Paula.
Hey, you guys. How are you? Hi, Adam. Hi, Tony, Bonnie. And thanks to tonight's house band, returning champ Matt Butterfield from Rhode Island on the oboe.
Oh, I love that oboe. Thanks, Matt. So, Paula Poundstone.
Yes?
What's new?
You know what? I was watching Brian Williams on MSNBC the other night, and he had on Peter Baker, the journalist, and Peter Baker used the word Schadenfreude, and he pronounced it Schadenfreude. Apparently, Captain Crinkle, he forgot the H.
No, Schadenfreude.
Ooh.
Duh. Schadenfreude.
Okay, apparently it is pronounced
Well, duh.
Schadenfreude, but when Bonnie, I think she called me on the phone to tell me that I had mispronounced it. And she just kept saying, you didn't use the H. You didn't use the H. But the thing is, you can't just say you didn't use the H. It's not just any letter was missing. Do you see what I'm saying?
Schadenfreude.
Absolutely true. I'm in agreement with you here, Paula. What do you have to say for yourself, Captain Crinkle?
Duh.
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
She's playing the pronunciation on the computer now. And by the way,
Schadenfreude.
if you call her at any time of day, this is what she's doing. Schadenfreude.
Do you hear duh?
There's no H. Schadenfreude.
How do you spell duh?
Okay,
Just with an E.
No, it's not. Duh.
Or D-U-H, but there's no...
you're spelling it Homer Simpson way.
If you just added an H, you'd be like Lou Costello. It would be Schadenfreude. And that's not what it is. Ask any German.
You know, the great irony is we're reading Moby Dick, a classic, and we're debating duh.
No.
Well, we're not reading Moby Dick yet. That's for the book club section. I thought you had something to bring up, Bonnie.
Oh, okay.
Last time I ever trust you with a segue.
Guess what, Paula? And it sounds that I'm gleeful telling you, but I'm really not gleeful telling you. But it turns out a guy on Facebook wrote us, and you mispronounced Gluckschmerz too in your vocabulary song.
Oh.
Well, let me just say this to you, manager Bonnie Burns. Do you not make 15% of what I make? So 15% of my Gluckschmerz mispronunciation is yours.
Wow. Well, since I don't own any of it, Bonnie sent me that email. Can I read
Yeah.
it, Paula?
Yeah.
Here, this is very enlightening. It's from Thomas Dean. Nobody Thomas Dean. Glad to hear the pronunciation of Schadenfreude being made more accurately this week. Now, at the risk of being censured or harshed on, I'd suggest working on the pronunciation of Gluckschmerz. It does not rhyme with duck shirts, as we're hearing now. The U is more like a double O, as in took or shook, not boob. Sorry, Paula. And the E is more like as in pear. These are English approximations for German, not precise German sounds. So something like Gluckschmerz rather than Gluckschmerz. Love to you all, Thomas Dean.
Gluckschmerz. You know, the irony here is that Bonnie experienced Schadenfreude over my mispronunciation of Gluckschmerz.
That's absolutely true. Undeniable Schadenfreude.
Yeah, this is really performance art where, for people who don't, for people who can't...
Schadenfreude.
Gluckschmerz. Gluckschmerz.
You sound completely charming doing that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Gluckschmerz.
All right.
Gluckschmerz.
All right.
Schadenfreude.
And with that and a deep...
Gluckschmerz.
Schadenfreude.
Gluckschmerz.
I'm going to call the Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone
Listen
Book
to how
Club
this
to order.
machine says Gluckschmerz. It sounds like someone just whining. Go ahead, do that one again.
Gluckschmerz. Gluckschmerz.
That's got to be an insult to every German. Gluckschmerz. That's not...
Look, they're famously stoic, but I would bet you that some Germans do whine like that.
Gluckschmerz.
Oh, I'm feeling so much Gluckschmerz today.
No, it's like
I don't want to go to Oktoberfest.
it's like Penny Marshall speaking German. Gluckschmerz. Gluckschmerz.
No more pretzels for me.
Cheryl.
I hate Berlin.
Cheryl. Gluckschmerz. Gluckschmerz, Shirley. Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated. Gluckschmerz. Yeah, it's not right. Gluckschmerz.
Was that Penny Marshall as a whiny German?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
She directed the movie. She directed the movie Big with Tom Hanks, and she used to say to him all the time. She used to say, "Tom, Gluckschmerz." Do it again, Tom, but with more Gluckschmerz.
And a little less Schadenfreude.
Cheryl. Lenny, Squiggy, Gluckschmerz.
Okay. That's it. That's enough. I'm calling the Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone Book Club to order. We are steaming. It's as though our sailing ship has suddenly taken on an engine, and we are steaming towards the end of this book. This week, we read chapters, what was it? Was it 116 through 125 already?
That is correct.
Woof. Yep. And you know what happened this week? A point of order. For the first time, I don't have a pre-written summary of those chapters to turn to. So
everyone agreeing to censure Adam Felber? Show of hands.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, that's his responsibility, and he didn't follow through.
Well, the motion was made, Paula, but I got to tell you, because I am the president pro tem, I never have to let that come up for a vote.
Adam, answer the phone.
What?
Answer the phone.
I don't want to answer the phone.
Adam, answer the phone.
I'm running in my book club.
Answer
You're
the
so
phone.
mean. Hello?
Hey, Adam, it's me, Mike Boom Boom Butterfieldfrom. Man, you don't have to fucking bring that up for a vote if you don't want to, because they can't censor you, man. They can't censor you. Just, you know what I mean? And you are pro tempura, and you don't have to. You have a light. What do you call that when you roll something in flour? What is that called? A light, crispy. Yeah, you're pro tempura.
Batter?
That's right. There's a light, crispy batter over you, and you're pro tempura, and you don't have to fuck. They can't censor you, man. They can't censor you. Just fucking.
Well, Paula did make the motion, and she's allowed to make the motion.
Oh, man, she is a bitch, that woman. I don't know how the fuck you put up with her.
Hey. Mike Boom Boom Bonnefille, we have talked about this many times before. You do not call my friend and partner in this endeavor a bitch. You just don't. Not on this show.
I don't know how you put up with her. Honest to God, I really don't. Look at, man, I gotta go. I'll hang out. Pro tempura. Up high. High five. I'll hang out with you after the game, all right? Talk to you later.
Bye, Mike. Okay.
Adam.
Before? Yeah, yes.
Answer the phone.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, the phone's ringing off the hook for you.
Yes. Wait, you want me to answer the phone again?
Yeah, the phone's ringing again.
I don't like this. Hello?
Hello, Adam. It's me, Winnie Feynman. How are you?
Hi, Winnie. I'm okay, albeit like everyone in the midst of a pandemic.
Oh, albeit, is it? You're in the midst of a pandemic, are you? What are you, Alexander Shakespeare?
Whoa. Albeit and midst are quite common words, Winnie. I'm not trying to sound like Shakespeare, and it's William Shakespeare, by the way.
I know that the famous bard is named William Shakespeare, Mr. Felber. Do you really think I thought you were William Shakespeare?
Whoa, Winnie, why are you so mad at me?
You are in the midst of not meeting your commitments, albeit you have made many.
Oh,
You
here we
have
go.
not met the conditions of my 100th caller contest prize. You have not hung out with me after the game, and I haven't even received a crock pot from Roger Federer's appliance store, and my mother hates you.
Oh, Jesus.
My internet has been very sporadic throughout the pandemic, which I'll bet you have had something to do with. So I have not
no.
been able to produce our production of Zoom love letters. So our rehearsals were for naught. They were for naught.
What
for
rehearsal?
naught, I say. Take that, William Shakespeare. And guess what, Alexander Graham Bell? I have one more thing to say.
Winnie? Winnie?
Wow. Boy,
She's mad.
She is mad at you. You know what? You are not following through in your commitments. You did.
Well, I can't. There's a pandemic on. She can't hang out with me after the game, Paula. You know that.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
No, absolutely. There's a pandemic. That's right.
I can't say that book club is off to an awesome start today because we haven't even circled back around to the censure, and I had a proposed solution to it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, instead of me summarizing the chapters like I usually do, let's just go to Tony Anita Hall over in Studio City.
Me?
Yeah.
To do what?
Summarize the chapters 116 through 125.
Okay, and you want me to, what do you want me, I wasn't listening.
Oh my God.
Schadenfreude.
I want you to summarize chapters 116 through 125.
Oh, okay.
Tony, what were you Googling?
I think she might have been Googling Moby Dick, chapters 116 through 125.
Tony, did you read chapters 116 through 125?
As we've been sitting here for the last 90 seconds, I have quickly read a summary on Spark Notes. It looks like, I mean, I can guess. I think I know what happened, like some major plot points.
Motion to censure Tony Anita Hall. Do I have a second?
I gotta go with the second this time.
You know, I'll tell you something. We are nearing the end of this book. I think next week will be our last week on Moby Dick. And I just want to say this. Part of the reason I wanted to read Moby Dick was that I knew it would be challenging. It's one of those books that you were supposed to read. And I know I'm not getting it on all of its levels, but I'm doing better than I thought I would. And I'm proud of us for posting a high bar for ourselves. Tony, I feel like you just need confidence. I'm sure even being censure heavy from refusing to read Moby Dick, you're more familiar with it than you think.
I am.
I've prepared for you a Moby Dick quote quiz. I'm going to read you 2 quotes, and you tell me which one is from Moby Dick.
I'm ready.
Tony, there's 3 sets of 2 quotes. So here is quote number 1. A purse is but a rag unless you have something in it. Now here's quote number 2. Oliver Twist has asked for more.
Okay. Tony?
I'm going to go with the first one.
That's right. Fantastic.
Yay!
Wow.
Good job,
Yay, Tony.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Here is your second set. This is quote number 1. There is a difference in the world between paying and being paid. And here's quote number 2. Floyd's comedy, for example, does not depend upon a contrived situation or another character's jokes about him.
I'm guessing the first one.
Right!
Nice. Nice, Tony.
The second one came from the Andy Griffith Show by Richard Kelly. That was very discerning. Excellent. All right, here is your third and last set of quotes. Here's quote number 1. There are certain queer times and occasions in this strange mixed affair when a man takes this whole universe for a vast, practical joke. Now here's quote number 2. Look at it this way, Charlie Brown. We learn more from losing than we do from winning.
I'm going to have to go with the first one again.
Fantastic! That was excellent. I told you.
Yay.
You knew
A
more
plus,
about this.
100%.
That was 100%.
Paula, I think if you'd mixed up the order of the correct answers, like put a couple of the correct ones second, you might have fooled her.
Yeah.
Well, let's try it. All right, Tony.
Well, now she's
Here's
answered
quote
them.
number 1. Look at it this way, Charlie Brown. We learn more from losing than we do from winning. Here's quote number 2. There are certain queer times and occasions in this strange mixed affair when a man takes this whole universe for a vast practical joke. Okay, Tony, which one is Moby Dick?
I'm going to go with the second one.
Wow, there's no fooling her.
You
See?
cannot fool me. Nope. Do I get to choose a prize from paulapoundstone.com?
No, I don't know whatever gave you that idea. No, you get to have a good feeling of having aced this quiz. And by the way, a listener tweeted me that there is a Twitter account where the guy posts quotes from Moby Dick. And I can't remember the name of the Twitter account, but if you just Google it, as Tony is doing now, just Google Moby Dick Twitter account.
If you follow that account long enough, you will have read the whole book out of sequence.
Exactly.
That's going to be a long time,
And we'll
though.
find out if it matters.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, as long as we've gone around the horn a little bit, let's go the rest of the way around the horn because we still have said nothing of these chapters. Let's go up to the Simi Valley and Captain Crinkle, Bonnie Burns, our friend, our producer, and your manager, Paula, for all these 20-something years. Bonnie, what do you have to say about chapters 116 to 125?
Spring mit meinem Arsch in ihr Gesicht.
Oh, that was that German insult.
Yeah. Bonnie speaks almost exclusively German now. It's amazing what she's done.
I want to jump with my ass in your face in case
Yes.
you don't remember.
I believe it's naked ass.
Naked ass.
Naked ass.
You know, I have something to say too.
Oh, it's Senator Amy Klobuchar.
Oh, bless my soul, what's wrong with me? My inside shaking like a leaf on a tree.
Wait. What caused that? What? I didn't.
Could you do that again, Senator Klobuchar?
Oh, bless my soul, what's wrong with me? My inside shaking like a leaf on a tree.
Okay.
Who
what
do
is
you
that?
think when you have such love? I'm in love. I'm all shook up.
Who sang All Shook Up before Amy Klobuchar?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like her version is now the
Yeah.
definitive one, but I think back in the past, Elvis Presley did sing that.
Yeah, that was weird. I think
Thank
if I
you.
had that.
I just thought I'd join your book club. I'm enjoying sitting in. Next.
Senator Klobuchar, I have to say that you didn't let Bonnie Burns talk, and you misquoted the lyrics from All Shook Up, I'm almost certain.
Oh, I give it my best, though. All my career, I've given it my best. You know, I came from very humble beginnings. My mother was a school teacher and my father ran a newspaper.
Yeah, well, thank you for that touching bio. That really shows a lot about why you were qualified to run for president of the United States.
It speaks volumes about Moby Dick, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. God bless America.
God bless you.
And God bless the Democratic Party.
Okay, thank you, Senator Klobuchar. I'm just going to bring book club to a close by saying...
Wait a minute.
What?
The Pequod is in waters near Japan.
Yes.
There is a big typhoon, and it's headed their way, and Starbuck freaks out, and he's ordering the crew to, I don't know, lower the sails and put up the lightning rods or whatever it is. And Ahab comes up and says, no, you can't do any of that. And it's very scary. Even Stubb, who's usually just obnoxious with jokes, even Stubb freaks out a couple of times, and then he goes back to being obnoxious. They then, I don't know if it was the masts, maybe. Oh, maybe it was the masts of Ahab's separate boat that they used to go get the whales. The masts of his boat are hit by lightning and begin to burn like candles. It makes some of them feel that God is against them. Certainly that's what Starbucks thinks. Then a little bit later, Ahab's asleep and Starbucks is down in the room that has the guns. And he picks up a gun and he's going to shoot through the wall where the hammock is that Ahab is asleep in. And then he just can't do it. And he puts the gun away. And now they're just sailing.
One thing I noticed is that, as Ahab's starting to take over the book, what's weird is that there's these chapters, and I can't decide whether this is postmodern or just Melville's bored, but all of a sudden, there's more and more of these chapters where Ishmael absolutely couldn't be in on this stuff. It's like interior monologues of Starbuck and Ahab.
Oh, that's interesting. I had never thought about that. Well, I always wondered in Irving Stone, his book about Van Gogh. I can't think of the title of it.
But
Tony will have it in just a second.
I cut off my ear.
No, it wasn't called I Cut Off My Ear.
It was called what? Speak into my good ear.
Lust for Life?
Thank you. Lust for Life. Lust for Life, the subtitle of which was, well, now I only need one earring. Irving Stone kept writing dialogues between Vincent van Gogh and his brother. And I'm like, well, how the fuck would Irving Stone know that? There was never one conversation that Van Gogh had with his brother where they went, isn't that Irving Stone in the window? So really, it was kind of made up.
I'm just saying the narrative convention of a first-person book where Ishmael is your narrator is, you tend not to break that a lot. And they have broken it once or twice, but here towards the end, they seem to break that a lot. Things that Ishmael isn't narrating and doesn't seem to have had any part of or be witness to.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like that time that he said what the whale was thinking.
Yeah, that whole internal monologue of the whale.
Yeah, where the whale was saying, I hope someday people make sponges in my shape.
Yeah, and then he said, man, that's good plankton.
Yum.
I don't know what it is. It's like a little spicy or something. It's good plankton.
Or that time when he went,
Yeah.
I got Ahab's leg stuck in my throat. God. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one. All right. Let's now call this book club, the penultimate edition, to a close. Motion made, motion so carried without objection. We're moving on. Paula, do you have a word?
Adam, I have a word.
Tell me it's not German.
Glückschmerz. It's,
Lenny, Glückschmerz.
Glückschmerz, Cheryl. Are you going into the
Glückschmerz.
brewery today? I'm not. Glückschmerz. It's rebarbative. It's an adjective that means repellent or irritating. Here, I'll use it in a sentence. Cats are wonderful companions, but their random vomiting can be rebarbative. This is an essential word for cat owners, a word that means repellent or irritating. I wish I could remember it. Let's put it in the vocabulary song and hope. This week's word is rebarbative. It's an adjective that means repellent or irritating. You're very cute except when you're regurgitating. Last week's word is pursue. It's a noun that means a comment that makes a clever or entertaining point. A justice system that keeps people in prison for weed stinks up the joint. The week before that, the word was militate. Militate, militate. The show can't go on if I keep on saying militate. It's a verb that means be a powerful or decisive factor in preventing something. The tunnel is blocked by a giant dumpling. Going back before that, the word was proscribe. It's a verb that means officially forbid something. Let's have no more, not even a little bit of plastic packaging. And not long ago, we had preponderance. It's a noun that means the quality or fact of being greater in number, quantity, or importance. You can't have too many people named Hortense. Let's never forget Gallimaufry, which I pronounced wrong until nobody James Hyder corrected me. It's a noun that means confused jumbler medley of things. Hodgepodge, who's podge, hodgepodge. Adam doesn't think my song is replicable, replicable, replicable. But I do, I do, I do, I do.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
Oh.
You know, the thing is, everything in that song was right with the world. You know what I mean? It just came together in a way. And
Yeah.
it doesn't always happen, but
It
this
doesn't, but that
man.
time, it was great.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, I do think you can have too many people named Hortons.
Oh, I don't think you can.
What if it was
I think
everybody?
You can have a preponderance of Hortons, and it's not a
What
problem
if it
at
was
all.
everybody? What if everybody was named Hortons? I would feel like that would be too many people. And it's
Yeah.
points like that that keep this show.
Oh, thank you for that aperçu, Adam.
You're so welcome, Paula. Coming up, Gertrude Stein wrote that a rose is a rose is a rose. To which I say, is it? Ha! Your move, Gertie. What you got, girlfriend? We'll probe the very nexus of words and meaning next on Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone.
Some of the greatest pleasures in my life are also the simplest. That's why Everlane makes premium quality essentials that complement every wardrobe at a more transparent, affordable price. You know what? I just got some products from Everlane. I got a pair of sneakers that are black canvas, really plain, which I like. And then I got a white, they call it a box style shirt, but it's not a box. My favorite thing about it, I like how it looks, but my favorite thing about it is that I know that it's ethically made. I try not to buy new things for the most part because I'm never quite sure, but knowing that it's ethically made makes me feel really good.
Everlane has made quality clothing with ethical factories and radically transparent pricing since 2010. They do extensive research and vetting to use ethical factories that provide fair wages and reasonable hours to the skilled people who craft their clothing.
Don't you love that? I love that.
I do love that.
Everlane has everything you need to upgrade your spring uniform. Whether you're going out on the town with friends or having a movie night with the fam, and get a head start on your summer look with Everlane's sustainable swimwear collection, made from 13,768 pounds of recycled plastic. I love that.
That's the whole swimwear line. You're not going to get a 13,000-pound swimsuit.
That'll slow you down.
Yeah. Everlane partners with the best and most ethical factories in the world. For a fit to feel good about, go to everlane.com/Paula and sign up for 10% off your first order plus free shipping.
Look at that babe in the 13,768 pounds of recycled plastic, no one ever said.
Hoo-wee!
And get easy returns within 30 days of your ship date. That's 10% off your first order when you go to everlane.com/Paula and sign up. If you're going to try it anyways, use our code. When it comes to treating fine lines, dark spots, and other signs of aging, your unique skin deserves unique care, and nothing beats the power of a customized prescription formula. The Agency is a future-defining skincare brand that believes you deserve customized products for your dynamic and ever-evolving skin.
To get your custom formula, upload photos of your skin and tell Agency about yourself. Next, Agency matches you with a licensed dermatology provider who creates custom formulas with research-backed ingredients just for you. And Agency continues checking in to see how your skin responds to treatment, and your provider can adjust your formula strength as your skin ages over time. It's that easy.
I wash my face at night. I put on the skin, I don't even know what they call it, the Agency skin cream stuff.
Sure.
And then I put on a moisturizer. It feels really good. And then I go to bed. That's right. I go to bed. And I get up in the morning, and so far so good. I'm supple.
Yeah, you sound supple.
Yeah, I feel good. Do what I did and try out Agency, the personalized anti-aging skincare that evolves with you. I didn't even realize I was evolving. Go to withagency.com/Paula for a 30-day free trial. Just pay $4.95 for shipping and handling.
That's withagency.com/Paula to unlock your free 30-day trial. See withagency.com for all the details subject to consultation. If you're going to try it anyway,
use our code. On this day in unremarkable history, Queen Elizabeth I said, do you see a mark there on my neck? Yeah, it's from that fucking collar.
thank you, house band Matt Butterfield. Oh, boy. Now, Paula, speaking of bands and music, we still have that little bet, you and I, about how many of our listeners, if any, played Oliver in their school play when they were school-aged people and would be willing to sing us a little bit of Who Will Buy.
And I told you that I thought we would have at least 2. I mean, I think it's going to be more than 2, but I said at least 2.
You did say at least 2. Right now we have, well, we did have one last week. Remember, we played it on the show.
That's right.
So you're halfway to your goal.
Yep.
I don't know why we invested in that giant tote board when the goal is 2. But there it is, right up over the mantle, the Oliver tote board.
Yeah, well, we're going to use the Who Will Buy Oliver tote board for all sorts of different Who Will Buy Oliver related contests. It's going to be good. I'm telling you, it's going to be good.
So to sum up, if you were Oliver as a kid in school, drop us an email at nobodylistens-to-Paula@gmail.com with a little audio snippet of you, present day you, singing Who Will Buy.
Who will buy this wonderful feeling? You know, I feel so positive lately. Do you know why, Adam?
Why?
I've been working out with my own little workout routine twice a day. I've been doing it for 19 weeks. A lot of push-ups. I feel I'm muscular. I think I do have a six-pack. It's underneath sort of a pancake, but I think it's there. And I don't know. I feel like a cougar.
Are you coming on to me?
Am I what?
Are you coming on to me? Like a cougar, like a middle-aged woman who preys upon younger men.
Yeah, younger men, Adam. Younger men. No, I'm not coming on to you.
Okay.
But thanks for asking, Grandpa. No.
Shit, I'm not that old.
No, I meant cougar. I meant cougar like the animal cougar, you know, muscular and fast and with acuity.
Oh, so you meant the animal cougar and not the sexually predatory woman of a certain age.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Paula, it seems like we found ourselves in some sort of semantic snafu.
This can't keep happening. There's got to be a way of understanding semantics better than this.
Well, you know what? This is really a weird coincidence, but we are fortunate to have an expert on the subject of semantics right here. He is an associate professor of linguistics at the University of Southern California who specializes in semantics and pragmatics. Welcome, Denise Rudin. Welcome.
Hi, thanks. Happy to be here.
Thanks so much for being here. Semantics. Let's start with the very, very basics. So, Professor, I don't even know if you say what is semantics or what are semantics, but why, what is it?
So, like, the shortest thing you could possibly say is that semantics is the study of meaning in natural language. Natural language just means something like Korean or Spanish or Zulu, as opposed to something like a programming language like Python or a mathematical or logical language.
Oh.
One of the things that kids learn automatically without anybody really telling them how.
Got ya. Why do the meanings of words change? I read that bird used to mean baby bird. So what were the other birds called?
Well, I can answer the specific question first.
Sure.
The word for bird used to be fowl, which we still have.
Yeah.
But there was this shift where that general word, fowl used to mean any bird, started to be used to refer just to game birds, which were sort of the most socially important birds in ancient English. And so bird sort of became a more general term because what was previously the more general term had become specific. It started to refer to a specific kind of bird.
So, you know what I love about that idea is that someone had to have started it, right? I mean, someone at one time saw a bird that was not a baby bird, and he didn't feel that fowl covered it. And so he said bird. And people around him must have been like, what? Maybe not with that particular subject.
Doesn't sound that momentous, Paula. This is not like discovering fire.
No, but the words, somebody has to have started the change in the meaning of the word.
Yeah. I mean, these things I think are pretty gradual. Like if you think about it, it's not that uncommon to see something that looks a lot like that right now. Like I'm sure we've all heard somebody call a grown dog a puppy.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Adam,
my God. Soon they'll all be puppies except for the wolves.
It could happen.
Adam, how many older women had you gone out with before you started calling them cougars?
Wow, I didn't really date a lot of older women, but I would say 2.5.
But you were
2.5.
You were the guy that started cougar, right?
Absolutely. Because
Yeah.
the reason I say 2.5 is because 2 women did. A Russian teacher in college, and just this woman I met a couple of years later. And then I was come on to by an actual cougar.
You mean an actual animal?
Yeah. And it just
wow.
felt a
Yeah.
lot like those earlier incidents.
I see. So that
Emotionally.
makes all the sense in the world. Sure.
Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between semantics and linguistics? And are you an expert in both?
Yeah, so the short answer is that semantics is a subfield of linguistics. There's linguists who specialize in meaning. There's linguists who specialize in sentence structure. There's linguists who specialize in sound. They're all different kinds of linguists. A semanticist is a type of linguist.
I just want to say one thing to you. Glückschmerz. Now, when you're in college and you decide to focus on semantics specifically, then do the people in the cafeteria that are at the linguist table no longer let you sit with them?
No. I'm in a linguistics department right now. I hang out with linguists all the time. I call myself a linguist, and I also call myself a semanticist.
So there's no raw feelings over that.
Let's talk about your subcategory. What kind of things do you work on day to day?
Yeah, so day to day, I work on the difference between what something literally means in terms of, if I was a robot, when would I say this sentence is true? And the thing that people are sort of doing with that meaning by saying a sentence. So I'll give you a concrete example. Here's a regular old sentence of English. Paula has a podcast. Mm-hmm. That's a sentence of English. And it's easy to understand what it means for it to be true or false. You need to know who Paula is. You need to know what a podcast is. And then it's pretty easy to say, okay, this is what the world would look like if that was true. This is what the world would look like if it wasn't.
All you really have to know in that sentence is whether or not Paula's a human being. Because right now, every human being has a podcast. Yeah. So that would be like saying Paula breathes oxygen, Paula has hair, Paula doesn't eat her young. All of these things would make me a human being, or at least a mammal.
Yeah, exactly right. All kinds of great sentences. But you can take that sentence, which has that meaning, and you can do very different things about it depending on how you say it. So I might say it like, Paula has a podcast. And if I'm doing that while I'm presenting myself like I believe that sentence is true, I'm asking you to accept that it's true. I'm asserting it. I'm giving you information. But I can take the exact same sentence and say it in a different way, and it'll do something very different. So I could say, Paula has a podcast?
Oh.
And then, okay, what it means for that sentence to be true hasn't changed at all. What's changed is what I'm doing with it. I'm not presenting myself like I believe it and telling you to accept it. I'm asking you to tell me whether it's true.
Then you could go, Paula has a podcast?
Exactly.
So it's kind of like what, who's the horrible man on Fox with the bow tie?
Tucker Carlson.
It's sort of like Tucker Carlson likes to say, like when people come to his defense, they go, he's just asking questions. So he'll say, the election was stolen. The election was stolen. Or he'll say, vaccines are bad for you. And people go, no, he's not saying that. He's saying vaccines are bad for you. He's just asking a question.
Well, yeah, I mean, where you get into trouble with the Tucker Carlson defense is that, that's not the most normal way to ask a question. If I wanted to ask that question in a completely neutral way, I might say, does Paula have a podcast? If I say, Paula has a podcast, that doesn't just ask you for confirmation or denial. It also conveys a particular kind of bias. It conveys like, there's some evidence that I have that suggests that the answer might be yes.
Wait, say it that way again?
So if I say, Paula has a podcast, that means like somebody has suggested to me that Paula has a podcast. That's not the way that I'd ask it if I had no sort of prior information about it.
Oh, I see. Uh-huh.
And what if you said, Paula has a podcast?
Oh, that's just mocking me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Would that fall under your purview, Professor?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I'm interested in is, well, what linguists would call intonational tunes, basically the things that you're doing with the pitch of your voice while you say a sentence, how that affects what you're doing by saying the sentence, even though it doesn't affect, the truth conditions of the sentence. That's one thing that I am interested in and that I've done a lot of work on.
When you say you've done a lot of work on it, so do you have a desk? Do you sit at a desk?
So
Or do you have a standing desk?
I have a regular desk, not to put any shade on standing desks. I mean, I also have like couches and chairs and some feet on some legs. And one of the cool things about doing the kind of work that I do is that a lot of it is pen and paper and a lot of it is thinking hard. And so, much to the consternation of my partner who's had to share an apartment with me this entire last year, I tend to do a lot of thinking while walking in circles around my apartment and talking to myself very quietly under my breath. And then I'll go sit down and write.
Give me an example of the last time you worked on something where you walked in circles talking to yourself quietly under your breath. What were you working on?
Okay. The last time I did that was working on a paper about the meaning of the word might, as in like Paula might have a podcast, that kind of might, not might as in strength. And
you're writing a paper about the word might?
Oh, there's hundreds of papers about the word might.
Oh my God. This is very granular work
I've
right?
only written 3 of them, but there's...
Oh my gosh. So what are you saying when you're walking in circles then? Are you going like might?
Well, I'm thinking about math.
Math? Why are you thinking about math?
Oh, there's so much math involved in how language works. And in semantics, there's maybe more math than anywhere else. So one of the things that's very interesting about becoming a linguist of any kind is realizing how incredibly complicated this system that we all learned kind of automatically as 3-year-olds and just comes out of our face all day without us having to think about it, how incredibly complicated that system is. And when we're trying to understand how language actually works on any level, its meanings or sentence structures or sounds, what we want to do is make sure that we're not like just telling ourselves we get it when we don't really get it. And so if you think, I bet something like this is kind of going on, well, that's fine. That you might be right and you might not be right. And if that's all you say about it, then it's hard to tell. And so linguists try to sort of mathematically formalize their ideas about what's going on so that they can actually make rigorous predictions and be tested. And it turns out that that thing that felt like it made sense totally doesn't work if you try to actually implement it. That's really how we make progress toward understanding.
Well, then tell us about might, because to me, when you say might, you mean it's possible that this is the case, and it's possible that it's not.
Yes, that's exactly the intuition. And, what the 300 papers are about is how do we actually spell that out? So I'll set up the problem that this specific paper is about. It's about what it means to disagree over a sentence with might in it. So I can say, Paul might have been at the party last night. And you can say, no, that's not true. He was in Barbados. So if you think about what you just said, might means basically this is possible. you immediately have to grapple with this question, which is, okay, possible says who? Because you might have different information than I have. Given my information, it's possible. Given your information, it's not possible.
Do linguists typically smoke a lot of pot?
That depends on the kind of linguist. I think not more than the average person.
Yeah, because I have to say, one time years ago, when I was young in San Francisco, I ate some pot brownies, and these are the kinds of thoughts that I was having. And I wasn't just walking in a circle. I was holding my lips to see if what I was thinking I was actually saying. That's how over the top I had gotten. But these sound like very, a box within a box within a box kind of thoughts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think your average linguist is the kind of person whose brain does that to them with no outside assistance.
Wow. You poor man. But no.
Well, Adam, I do have, my job is literally to care about the stuff that I care about. So I don't feel like I need any sympathy.
You must have felt like you hit the lottery when you discovered semantics.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's very, very hard to become a professor. So I've been incredibly lucky in that way.
Oh, I'm sure.
All right. Well, Betty Buckley once said, if we're for one another, we're feminists. The rest is semantics. Well, call me crazy, but I think you can be both a feminist and a semantic. We'll dive deeper into language when we return. The cat of the week is Sedona from Mountains, Oklahoma. Whether it's for work or play, a lot of us are going to be on the move again this summer, which is awesome. So I have some advice. If you got them, take your Raycons with you. I take walks with Raycons all the time. I will take the dog to the park, put my Raycons in my ear, listen to a podcast. You know what? I like those podcasts. I hear they're the future.
Oh, yeah. People love them. Raycons are built to go wherever you go with quick and seamless Bluetooth pairing and a compact charging case. I hate the kind that won't move. The kind that you start to walk and they don't move. The kind that don't go with you.
You don't need those. You need these. So whether you're listening to this very podcast or taking in some ambient sound to make it a quieter day for you, a pair of Raycon wireless earbuds in your ears can make all the difference. You get crisp, powerful beats at half the price of other premium audio brands.
Raycons look great and feel even better. They come in a range of cool colors and with customizable gel tips included for comfortable fit.
You know what I did today? I put on a playlist of Earth, Wind, and Fire in my Raycons. That is how you spend a summer day, ladies and gentlemen. And listen up, Raycon's offering 15% off all their products for our listeners. And here's what you've got to do to get it. Go to buyraycon.com/Paula. Then you'll get 15% off your entire Raycon order.
And it's such a good deal. You'll want to grab a pair and a spare. That's 15% off at buyraycon.com/Paula. buyraycon.com/Paula. If you're going to try it anyways, use our code.
And we're back with semanticist Deniz Rudin.
Professor Rudin, do we have enough words? Are we understanding each other? Sometimes I struggle to communicate. Even as much as I talk, sometimes I still feel like I didn't have the word that I needed to express something. Do we get new words?
Yeah, that last question is very easy to answer. Yes, we get new words all the time. I mean, we've gotten new words, in my lifetime, absolutely. In terms of having enough words, there's a bunch of different things that could be the issue. I think we have enough words and we're really good at making up new ones or changing what old ones mean if we find that we have stuff we have to talk about that we can't. It's also sort of amazing that people are able to speak languages at all for a lot of reasons. And one of those many reasons is how many words people memorize and use regularly. It's something like 10,000 words in the active vocabulary of most people.
Wow. Is there a lot of variation there?
Not really. So people talk about there being variation in terms of the number of words that there are in a language. But the dirty secret is that languages don't exist.
Wait, what?
Well, language is something that exists inside human beings' heads. And English isn't something that's inside my head. What's inside my head is English as spoken by me. And that's subtly different on every level as English as spoken by Adam. And that's subtly different on every level of structure from English as spoken by Paula. We just say everybody who can successfully talk to somebody else, they speak the same language, and we're going to abstract away what they seem to have in common despite all the little differences and say that those are the property of that language. So
Right, but in the practical world, a language is a thing. I mean, if I accidentally call someone in Kyoto and he only speaks Japanese, there is a 0% chance that we'll be able to communicate at all.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it's absolutely true that, one person's, the linguists call this an idiolect. Idiolect is like the one person version of the word dialect. So each one of us speaks our own idiolect, and we call them idiolects of English if they share a lot of features and are close enough that we can successfully talk to each other. It's absolutely undeniably true that there's people who speak completely incompatible idiolects like you and that person in Kyoto.
For example, I say Gluckschmerz, and
Most Germans won't know what you're talking about.
there are people, including Penny Marshall, that would have said Gluckschmerz.
Paula, I would say almost everybody in Dusseldorf would not know what you were talking about.
They would. On the linguistics timeline, is there a dude period? I feel like that came up like about maybe 20 years ago or so. Did it start? I mean, there was always the word dude, right? As in ranch hand. And then it started picking up to where there was a period of time where, young people, everything they said was dude, dude, dude. Again, was that because one guy did it?
Is dude as interesting as might?
Oh, it depends on what you're interested in. Dude is probably interesting more sociolinguistically than semantically.
Ooh, that's another you have to sit at another table in the cafeteria if you do sociolinguistics.
Yeah, that's actually a very different table.
Yeah.
Yeah, semantically, dude is, a marker of in-group status and casual speech, and there's not that much more interesting to say about it. Sociolinguistically, and this happens every generation, young people sort of pick up on their new things that they like to say, and all of a sudden you hear them everywhere, and then they sort of fade out as the young people aren't young anymore, and the new young people don't want to sound like the old ones did.
Yeah.
That's sort of more about the social dynamics of language and the way people use language to signify things about their identity.
Isn't it also the way that you say dude, though?
Dude.
Like, you could have a whole conversation where the word is only dude, which for me calls to mind, and I'm sure you linguists talk about this all the time, which is on season 1 of the TV show The Wire. There's a scene where these two, you know exactly what I mean, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a scene where these two detectives are investigating a murder scene, and it's a 5-minute scene, and the only line of dialogue is fuck.
Yeah, so the reason why I got excited and cut you off is that one of my very best friends from grad school, she wrote her dissertation on ways that you can use intonation to communicate. And in that scene, there's a lot of stuff that's going on with intonation. There's a lot of like, fuck? Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Like that kind of stuff that communicates. Yeah, and this friend of mine, her dissertation actually cites the dialogue from that scene. So,
isn't that funny?
I knew it.
That scene has been discussed in at least one PhD thesis I'm aware of. Yeah.
That's great.
All right. Are texting and emojis fucking up our communication even worse?
No. No, there's a linguist named Gretchen McCulloch who has a pretty recent book called Because Internet, which is about sort of text and emoji and language in the internet age. And her take, which I agree with completely, is that it's not ruining our language. The fact of the matter is that language change is constant. Language change happens absolutely all the time. There's no stopping it. There's no reason to want to stop it. It's not an intrinsically bad thing. And in terms of texting specifically, so you have to keep straight the difference between, what actually is the language and what is the way that we're writing it down. Mm-hmm. So texting has a lot of abbreviations. Those abbreviations stand for regular pieces of language. And the fact that people are using these especially abbreviated ways to express them, isn't that different from something like a court stenographer? What a stenographer is writing down in shorthand isn't going to look like flowing prose in a novel. It's just a different way of marking down the same content. You could write out Middlemarch in shorthand and it would be the same language, just a different way of writing it down.
So are misunderstandings in texting, which are legion, more a result of the fact that people don't, or at least didn't initially know how to interpret texts?
Oh, yeah. So for misunderstandings, I mean, one thing that I will say is that communicating in a purely textual medium is hard. I don't think it's ruining our language because I don't think it's really changing how we talk to each other when we're actually talking. But communicating in writing...
Well, it actually does change Paula, because she said to me the other day, I don't think we want to do that segment, frowny face.
And the other day, I just flat out called Adam a small eggplant.
Wow, and that was hurtful. I got that one.
Yeah, sometimes we we lash out. Have you ever used the Huey Lewis and the News song Bad is Bad as an audio-visual aid?
I never have. Should I?
Yes, because it's a great discussion of a word that's used in more than one way. It's very illustrative. I'd be surprised if Huey Lewis and the News didn't play at the next linguist convention.
Yeah. We're organizing a semantics summer school at USC for 2022, and I will reach out to them and see if they'd be willing to come play.
I think that would be great.
I want to make sure that we don't miss this, because I read in a little description of you that you co-wrote a paper about baseball player names.
Yeah, that's true. That's co-written with my colleague Stephanie Shih, who's also a professor at USC. One of the things that Stephanie is really interested in is what's called sound symbolism. So the famous example of sound symbolism, if you show people like a shape with a lot of rounded edges, and if you show people a shape with a lot of spiky edges, and you ask them which one is called booba and which one is called kiki, people are very sure that the one with the round edges is called booba and the one with the spiky edges is called kiki.
Is that true across lots of languages?
Yes, it's really robust cross-linguistically.
Wow.
And we actually have some students who are working on this at USC. What we got interested in, me and my colleague, is sort of whether we can see examples of this in naming practices in the real world. And baseball was a natural fit because of the obsessive record keeping. So baseball has publicly available searchable databases where you can have people's names and also their weight and their height and all sorts of different measures of how good they are at baseball. So we did a bunch of sort of investigations into all of that data. And specifically, what we found is that interesting things happen where people are picking what name they want to go by. So specifically, if people register for baseball under a nickname version of their actual name, like if they're named Robert, but they register for baseball as Bob, like Bob Gibson did. What we found is that people who went from Robert to Bob, or otherwise shortened their name, tend to be bigger. Bobs are big. People who shorten their name to something that ends in the vowel E, like Robert to Bobby, tend to be smaller. Sort of not surprising. People who go by Bobby tend to be smaller than people who go by Bob.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we found all sorts of other effects in the segment of the data where people chose to go by their middle names. Like just if there's more voiced sounds like B instead of P, people are bigger. So if people chose to go by their middle name, it was often a middle name that sort of subtly reflected their size.
As compared to their first name?
Yes. And Unfortunately, we didn't find any correlations with how good they were at baseball. So it's not that, all of the players who are the best at baseball have a lot of L's in their name or something like that.
What were the names of the shapes they were saying? Was it Booba and
Kiki.
Booba and Kiki? Because I feel like that makes sense to me.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I've lost a little bit of weight, and I feel like I've gone from Booba to Kiki.
I've gone from Kiki to Booba.
I kind of like that way of saying it, Boy, you have gone Kiki. I like that. Although I just could never say to anybody anything about their booba. But, wow, this is interesting.
It's very interesting. And you know what? As soon as you said baseball players and Booba and Kiki, I thought of Kike Hernandez on the Dodgers and the old fat baseball player Boog Powell, who in fact opened up a barbecue joint at Camden Yards after he retired.
Boog Powell.
He's a big man. Yeah, so maybe I need to change my name to my middle name, which is Fatso. Kind of have to forgive my parents for that one. Well, Denise Rudin, that was excellent. But now we're going to take all the words, all the concept that you've given to us, and run it through the old Poundstonator. Paula?
House band Matt Butterfield on the oboe. You sound terrific. Thank you so much for being here. If I can get a little background music, I'll tell you what the old Poundstonator spit out. Thank you, Professor Deniz Rudin. I learned a lot about linguistics and its subcategory semantics. Well, I don't know if I actually learned, but that's on me, not you. You taught me, but the learning part is up to me. I do think I learned much of what you taught me. Well, I might have learned a lot. I just can't remember what I learned. Even if I remembered it, I don't know if it was a lot. It's not a lot compared to what college students learn. I certainly learned more than my dog Mo did, but she's funny because, for example, I've taught her sit. She knows sit, but she won't always do it. She's learned a lot, but she won't always employ what she's learned. I might have learned a lot. Might.
He's an assistant professor of linguistics at the University of Southern California. Thank you so much, Denise Rudin.
Yay! Thank you, Professor Rudin. This was fascinating.
That was fantastic, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. This was my pleasure.
Coming up, you know what's gross? Well, you will soon. It's True Confessions Food Edition when we return.
ABC Monday, nothing says summer is back like a brand new season of The Bachelorette. Katie's journey to find love begins with 30 new men, all hoping to be the one to get her final rose. And the drama starts night one when one of these men arrives in a box. Who is the mystery man? Is he, pardon the pun, the whole package? And the biggest question of all, have we seen him on a season of The Bachelorette before? And this season, our Bachelorette has two friends on the inside, Bachelor Nation fan favorites Tayshia and Caitlin, stepping in to help make sure Katie knows who's there for the right reasons and who should take a moment and say their goodbyes. No word yet if Katie's got her buzzing bestie with her. You know, that vibrating, well, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Will Katie find love, good vibes, and the happy ending she's looking for? Will the mystery man in a box give her a ring in a box? Join the journey as the new season of The Bachelorette premieres Monday, 8/7 Central on ABC. With HelloFresh, you get fresh, pre-measured ingredients and mouth-watering seasonal recipes delivered right to your door. Who is it? It's HelloFresh. HelloFresh lets you skip those trips to the grocery store and makes home cooking easy, fun, and, most important to me right now, affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit.
Over 90% of ingredients are sourced directly from farmers to ensure only the freshest produce and proteins are delivered right to your door. And there's something for everyone, including weekly low-calorie, vegetarian, and family-friendly recipes.
Who is it? Produce and proteins. Be right there. I've made a few HelloFresh meals, and they have been delicious. Really easy to do, fun to do. I'll just go ahead and say it. Fun to do. And I found that I like farro. I didn't even know I liked farro. I found that I like couscous. I didn't even know that I like couscous. And I found a new way to prepare chickpeas. All from HelloFresh.
Try America's #1 meal kit. Go to HelloFresh.com/12Paula and use code 12Paula for 12 free meals, including free shipping.
Boy, that's a great deal. For 12 free meals and free shipping, go to HelloFresh.com/12Paula and use code 12Paula. You know, there's leftovers too. Keep that in mind. It's even better the next day. If you're going to try it anyways, use our code.
Fun fact, the heart of a shrimp is located in its head. But there's plenty of room up there because, like so many creatures, they think with their dicks. And we're back. Oh boy, Paula, this has been so much fun already.
This has been so much fun already?
Yes, this show's been a blast, a riot, and a gas daddy, a solid gone gas. But it's about to get a little better because we're introducing a new segment called True Confessions, the food edition. So what's going on here? And you know, this is a safe space. We can share things that are embarrassing about ourselves, and often we do that accidentally. This time it's going to be on purpose. We and our listeners are going to be sharing some weird food habits that they have.
You know, one of the things that I realized when I was thinking about it is that I don't have a lot of weird food habits, really.
Well, you subsist on double stuffed Oreos and Doritos and raisin bread with peanut butter.
Doesn't everybody? I'll tell you what. Every morning I have oatmeal with somewhere between a third to a half a cup of sugar on it.
What? Are you exaggerating?
Yeah. No, I'm not exaggerating.
Oh my
And you
God.
know what, though? I can get anybody who wants it. I can write down the recipe. It's delicious.
Well, you know what? I used to eat the non-sugared cereals and put so much sugar in it. There was more sugar than the sugared cereals had.
Yeah.
I would do that to Cheerios and I would do that to cornflakes. So I kind of get where you're coming from. But Paula, a third to a half a cup is excessive.
Yeah, but keep in mind, I eat a lot of oatmeal in the morning.
Well, how big is that bowl?
Well, it's not Jethro size, but it's, it's a good sized bowl.
All right. Wow.
The other thing is, and I started doing this during the pandemic, which is when I do have like another kind of cereal, which is very rare now, I didn't use real milk for a long time. I used fake milk, but I stopped even using fake milk. I just use water. And you know what? It's fine. You put enough sugar in there, it's delicious.
That sounds revolting.
No, it's fine. Actually, I was surprised. I did it actually originally to save money. I thought, well, here, I don't really need fake milk. Fake milk's expensive. And then the other thing is, it's one of those things that if you have to buy a certain amount in order to not have to go back to the grocery store, right? But then it goes bad. It's a pain in the neck. So I just started using water. And again, it's fine. It's fine.
It sounds to me like you lose the crunchiness of the cereal while gaining nothing.
No, it softens it a little bit and it melts the sugar. If you just pour sugar on your Cheerios, you're going to have a big thing of sugar at the bottom of your bowl. But if you have some water in there, it melts it. It makes it. So I have Cheerios basically and syrup.
Yeah, no, I'm coming around.
Yeah.
I'll try it with water at some point, although I'm a little nauseated.
No, it was
Speaking of
fine.
nauseated, here's one of mine. I don't even know how I came up with this, and I don't know if anybody else in the world has ever done this. Maybe it's really popular. Sometimes for breakfast, I will have cottage cheese with salsa.
I don't think that's bad. What's bad about that?
It's not really a thing, but it's delicious.
And did you start this practice because you opened the refrigerator one day and, there was no milk and there were not a lot of ingredients, but at the back of the refrigerator there was like maybe a quarter of a jar of salsa that was a little gummy around the edges of the jar, and then there was like just a little bit of cottage cheese in there.
It's like you were there.
Yeah, because those are like
It's like you were
those
there.
are the kinds of foods that get shoved to the back of the fridge instead of culled out.
Yeah.
I'll bet you the first time you had it, it wasn't fresh.
You might well be right. I mean, a favorite breakfast of mine is the much more conventional cottage cheese with melon. But I guess it was one day when we were out of melon, and I don't know whether it was my idea or Jeannie's idea, but it was me who ate it. So she might have just been sarcastic about it, where I put some salsa on top of the cottage cheese. And you know what it tastes like to me?
No.
It tastes like the top of an order of nachos without the nachos.
Oh.
Because it's like sour cream and salsa, but cream cheese is related.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I don't like any kind of hot food, and I really don't like cottage cheese. So it would be a tough way for me to start my day.
Oh, so this is not the breakfast for you.
No, definitely not.
And I'll go you one grosser. When I was a kid, I used to eat powdered Nestle Quick by the spoonful.
No, that sounds good to me. That sounds great. You could put that on cereal.
I loved it.
You could put that on
I can
oatmeal.
still remember the texture of it.
Oh, yum. Yeah, that would be good on oatmeal.
Let's go around the horn. Tony and Anita Hull, what are your true confessions for Food Edition?
Mine aren't as interesting. I'm thinking of two. The first one is that I love blood sausage, black pudding, whatever you want to call it. It's one of my favorite things in the world.
What is that? What is that?
It's sausage made of blood.
Yeah, that is gross.
Wow.
I'm gonna throw
Yeah.
up.
And you didn't want to read Moby Dick, huh?
That's disgusting.
I love black pudding or blood sausage, whatever you want to call it.
It's just animal blood.
She likes to have it served to her by a guy in the skin of a whale penis.
Yeah.
Which is
absolutely.
from, by the way, Moby Dick. I'm not just making that up. Wow, that is gross.
Yeah, that is pretty gross there, Tony.
And then my second one is I've been known to, like, if I get a cookie, I try to only eat half, like, to be healthier. Mm-hmm. So occasionally I will eat half and then gently lay the other half in the trash can, but on top of the trash. And then later on, I'll really want that half a cookie and I'll just go take it out the trash and eat it.
Oh, I understand that. And that's why when I discard food I'm not going to eat, but know I will be tempted by, I bury it down there in the trash so that I am not tempted to do that vile behavior, Tony and Anita Hull.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Hey, Tony, remember you had invited me over to your house when it was safe after the pandemic? I just want to say I'm busy. Love to, but I
But
can't.
I'll have half-eaten cookies to serve.
Oh, man,
All
that's
right,
gross.
let's turn our attention northward to the Simi Valley.
Mine are so benign. But by the way, Tony gently lays them on the trash because she already knows that she's very likely to go back and take the other half of that cookie out of the trash. Let's just be honest.
And I don't.
Mine feels so namby-pamby.
I don't leave my soup on the top of the toilet because I know I'm coming back for it. It's just not a thing.
She's so hard to follow.
Just lay that pancake on the cat litter box, but gently.
Oh,
God. In college, I was known to gently leave drinks in the trash can.
Gently leave drinks where?
So like sometimes we go to this place called Trops in Columbia, which is alcoholic slushies. And you take them to go, but then we want to go to a bar next door. So I would gently lay my slushie in the trash can
So you can pick it up on your way out?
and then take it. Yes.
Oh, boy.
Yes. Anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
oh my God.
Thank you, future bag lady Tony Anita Hull. Bonnie Burns.
I feel like I'm at a party where there's like this really great looking woman and her name's like Blue Andre. And here I am and my name's Bonnie.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I have nothing to top. Mine are like so namby-pamby. She eats blood sausage.
That's gross.
You know, here I am with my little story about, okay, here we go. So here's one thing I do. I take like those hard wrap candies, and 3 of them are 70 calories. So I stick them down on my couch cushions Like where the dogs can't get them.
In the wrapper or out?
No, in the wrapper, Captain Crinkle. And then, like, when I want something to eat, I just reach down into that cushion, and there's candy.
Okay, so Bonnie,
Wow.
I would say that's not a weird food. That's just kind of like a weird
No, it's not.
squirrel-like, food storage methodology.
You know what it is? It's more of an Easter thing. She does it like an Easter thing.
Oh my God.
Being of Jewish descent, the Burnses didn't celebrate Easter, of course, but Bonnie has created her own Easter where she gets up in the morning and runs downstairs in her feety pajamas and throws the cushion off the couches and yells, "He came! He came! The Easter Bunny came!"
I'm waiting for that cleaning lady for her to go, there was a bunch of candy underneath the cushions in the couch. Is that yours?
Wow.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, here's my other one. Well, it's not really me, and again, it feels so namby-pamby compared to blood sausage. But when I was growing up, like, we used to go on the Atkins diet all the time, which is you could have unlimited amounts of low-carbohydrate foods, right? So we used to sit down to our family dinner. My dad would sit at the head of the table. He'd take, like, I don't know, a tub, like one of those, pint or something of like Dairy Gold large curd cottage cheese. He'd tip it over onto his dinner plate so it created that melt. And that's what he had for dinner.
I'm not sure I'm following that. You're saying your dad ate cottage cheese for dinner?
Bonnie.
Yeah, but he tipped the tub over onto his plate. So like while we were having chicken or whatever, that's what he was eating. It sat there like a little snowball.
Did he sculpt it into the shape of a butte? Was your dad
No.
Richard Dreyfuss? Because,
No.
the poor guy.
It doesn't fit the category.
No.
Neither of yours fit the category.
She's not telling you the weird part. One time when I was working up in Seattle, I visited Bonnie's parents, and I sat down on the couch. And there was this squishing sound, and I pulled up the couch cushion, and there was a whole tub of cottage cheese, not even in the container, just under the couch cushion. So that's a genetic thing, storing your food in your couch cushions. Just saying, don't even take the invitation to stay on the hide-a-bed.
I thought you were going to tell the story about when you were performing in Seattle, and then afterwards I came backstage and I said, that was a really great show. And you said, some old guy was right in the front row, and he was sleeping. And I said, that was my dad.
No, did that happen?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
So wait, so your father was sleeping in the front row of my show?
Yeah, right through your act.
Well, I know. I'll tell you something, Bonnie Burns. I can be sympathetic because I know that dairy products can be very, very dangerous, particularly to older men.
Oh, it's our favorite aging Southern Belle hand puppet, Mrs. Culpepper. Mrs. Culpepper, what on earth would you have to warn us about dairy products?
Well, dairy products, oh, damn, I almost forget. Is it,
I mean, if you're not lactose intolerant, as far as I can tell, they're not dangerous.
no, they are. They have is it Tony Nidhall? Is it Tyro or Trio? I always forget.
Tyro.
Tyro, a man can suffer from a thing called tyrotoxism, which is poisoning from a cheese or a dairy product. And that could, her father may have fallen ill during Paula's performance.
From eating bad cottage cheese?
Well,
I got to tell you, Miss Culpepper, I doubt it because I have never heard of anybody in real life succumbing to tyrotoxism.
Well, they have. I'll tell you, in fact, you've heard of it. I've mentioned it to you before, Captain Culpepper.
Your husband.
That's right, my husband, the good Captain Culpepper.
How is he?
Well, he's He's passed on, Adam Felber. He's not with us.
Oh!
He's not with us any longer. He passed on from a...
I'm sorry to hear that.
Was it Tyro or Trio? Tony, I forgot again.
Tyrotoxicity.
Tyro, that's right, Tyro.
How is that related to your husband?
Well, he died from he had eaten some cheese. In fact, I'll tell you something. There was a period of time in Paula Poundstone's career where she handed out cheese to the audience, and Barney Burns' good father may have been caught up in that tragic experience. But Captain Culpepper, yes, died from a poison and from cheese, which is tyrotoxism.
So he had bad cottage cheese too?
No, not at all. What I'm trying to tell you, and I've told you many a time, Adam Felber, it was the Gouda that got him.
So sorry to have that terrible memory. Well, you know what? As I had promised that we were going to get to some of our listeners' weird food habits tonight, but apparently we had too much material just generated among us. So I'm going to make you a promise. This is an Adam Felber promise for Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone. We're going to get back to this topic because obviously it's rich and full of sugar.
Can't keep me away from it.
And next time, God help us, Bonnie Burns, you are going to do your assignment and tell us gross things that you eat.
Oh.
Yes, you are.
Can't believe she paid all that money for that fancy backyard couch furniture, and she puts food under the cushions. Doesn't make any sense.
I love that. And it's hard candies. It's Jolly Ranchers. Yeah. Hey, nobodies, if you want to share your weird food habits or anything else, send that to nobodylistens@gmail.com. And while we're talking about outreach to our nobodies, Paula, what's going on in your Poundstone product empire this week?
Wait, Captain Crinkle, are you crinkling again?
Guess what? I just unwrapped a hard candy.
Was it in your couch?
No, I have it in my pocket. In case I run out,
you know what?
The supply runs out in the cushions.
No, Bonnie is her own grandmother.
All right, Paula, before we go there into the depths of Bonnie's pockets, why don't you tell us what's happening in the Poundstone product empire this week?
Adam, Poundstone Industries, also known as Lipstick Nancy Incorporated, is a solid, secure company. I don't see how anything can go wrong. My t-shirts are flying off the shelves. Is it because they're a remarkably soft tri-poly blend? I don't know. Is it because my self-portrait is on the left breast? Possibly. Is it because there's a memorable quote on the back? It could be. Is it because they come in baseball and standard style and they're available at the store at paulapoundstone.com? I wouldn't be surprised. I'd also be remiss I say, if I didn't mention that listeners can buy a personalized video message from me to be delivered to their friends and loved ones, or even their rebarbative boss at cameo.com/PaulaP33. Hi, Jeff Bezos, it's me, Paula Poundstone. Carrie P. over in the Fulfillment Center wanted me to tell you you've made a shitload of money and Carrie's bucket to catch the trickle down in is still empty. That's cameo.com/PaulaP33. Also, I'm going to be in Blacksburg, Virginia at the Moss Art Center on Friday, June 11th. For tickets and information, go to paulapoundstone.com. I'd be glad to tell you more, but Heidi.
All right. Well, subscribe to this podcast. It's free. You'll get it every week at no charge. If there's a subject or topic that you'd like to know about, tell us. We're at nobodylistens@gmail.com. Once again, that's nobodylistens@gmail.com. And that is all she wrote. Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone is hosted by Paula Poundstone and yours truly, Adam L. Felber. Special thanks to our guest, Denise Rudin.
Yeah.
And thanks to our house band on the bad old oboe, it's Matt Butterfield.
Yay! Thank you, Matt. That sounds terrific.
You can catch Matt's rendition of Paula's vocabulary song at MatthewButterfield.net. Our show is produced by Paula Poundstone, Adam Felber, Bonnie Burns, Ken Lezebnik, and Tony Anita Hull. Our intern is Carly Patrone. Starburns production by Land Romo and Sam Dunwald. Transcription services for the show provided by Transcribe Me, a premier internationally used transcription service. Use code Paula Poundstone when placing your order at transcribeme.com to receive an expedited service.
Yay! That's our show for tonight. Won't somebody please listen to me?
I'm just saying if Bonnie must be into some really weird shit.
Yeah, no. I've eaten out with Bonnie before, and I'll tell you, it is constant motion on her side of the table. She brings shit with her. She crinkles.
Yeah, no doubt.
She always has little baggies of stuff that she pours on top of, like some sort of chopped up, I don't know, pills or something she pours on top of. She asks for everything on the side, and then she
sprinkles it
she
in.
mixes everything. Oh my God. I'm telling you, I had to stop. I wasn't able to eat anymore when I was She sends the waiter or waitress back and forth and back and forth. Oh, could I have another half a souffle cup of... Could I get just a thimble full of apple cider vinegar? No, I'm sorry, we don't have apple cider vinegar.
I need a peach pit, not the peach. I just need the pit, and it has to be in a cup of water.
Yeah. And do you have a syringe so that I can get the center of the peach pit out?
I need you to rip open a tea bag and put it on a baked potato.
That's not that far from the truth.
I'm telling you.
Starburns Audio, a podcast network.